Study section 15. The field work. Introduction. This study session will introduce you to your field work. You will be made to choose between 3 alternative questions. Thereafter, you will be given a highlight of guidelines that will help you in your choosing field work. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to choose a topic from the alternatives provided. Highlight the necessary guidelines for the field work. The assignment. Choose one question from the 3 listed below and write a comprehensive project on it for submission immediately after your general revision exercise at the end of the session. All projects must be turned in before the examinations begin. 1. In a big industrial establishment in Lagos, there have been reports of a lowering of morale of the workers, with the work ethics also suffering tremendously. When management called a meeting to analyze the situation, it was observed that in more than 6 branches of the company located in 5 different states of the Federation, the reports have not been different from what is happening at the headquarters. Since you are the head of a training consultancy in Lagos, the management of the affected company has just written to you intimating you with a few details of recent happenings and has thus asked you to organize a training workshop for the staff of the company. Do a comprehensive write-up of how you will go about solving the problem. 2. You have just been appointed an adult education officer in the state agency for adult and non-formal education. Against the background of the need to equip the literacy instructors with the skills for effectively teaching literacy to their clientele, organize a 5-day workshop for the instructors who are scattered all over the various local governments in the state. 3. The incidence of strikes and lockouts in an industrial establishment has reached an alarming proportion. It has got to the extent that safety of lives and property can no longer be guaranteed. When the police was later called in and the main culprit removed from the scene, everyone thought that they could at least breathe a sign of relief. But this was just the beginning of more wrangling between labor and management. As an invited industrial relations expert and training consultant, organize a program of training which could reduce this problem and which other industrial establishments could benefit from. Guidelines. In the first question, you may wish to consider the following questions. A. What is the name of the big industrial establishment? Definitely, any name you choose will be accepted, whether it is a real name or an imaginary one. The identification of a name is not as important as the understanding of the context of the problem involved and how to solve it. B. As there have been reports of a lowering of morale of workers for reasons that we have not been told, it is your own duty to identify those reasons that may lower the morale of a worker. Reading of materials on factors that motivate workers or dampen their morale should prove useful to you here. In fact, your identification of the factors should be a first step in identifying what exactly the problem is at workplace. I am sure you will agree with me that while the workers' morale appears to be a problem in itself, the greater problem may however be those factors that allow for the lowered workers' morale and the attendant consequences of that for industrial growth. C. You should also give the rule of work ethics suffering some consideration, at least when you later write your proposal or the introduction to your brochure. D. Perhaps an insight into the nature of the meeting called by management on a more elaborate scale should help to give your work some greater focus. The branches which were seen to be suffering the effect could also be identified specifically to give the work a sense of reality. The same goes for the peculiarity of their own problems, which may have some slightly different dimensions to the ones at the headquarters. Knowledge of this will make your solutions relevant to both the workers in Lagos and the ones elsewhere. E. Since you are the head of a training consultancy in Lagos, you may wish to identify your consultancy by name. Do not worry, call it any name that catches your fancy and it will be suitable. Remember that at the beginning of this course, I did say that you may soon start your own consultancy. Who says you have not got one now, with a whole industrial concern in Lagos already running to you for help? I guess we must celebrate your new position. What do you say to that? F. In view of the briefing you have had from the company head, would it not be appropriate for you to carry out a more detailed investigation with management's permission of the real happenings at the workplace? You may take a sample of the workers for this mini study to help you locate other hidden problems that may help you earn the recognition given to you in the first place. G. With this as initial props, you should be able to come out with an elaborate design to stem the problem of this lowering of morale. On the second question, you may need to note the following. A. Your appointment as an adult education officer in one agency for adult and non-formal education already reveals that you must have had some training in organizing workshops and seminars. It also shows that you also know a lot about what literacy entails, what problems literacy instructors and organizers face, what materials the clientele of literacy programs need, and that you have a whole lot of information which the uninitiated does not have. It is therefore your responsibility to bring the word of knowledge to bear on the work you have now been entrusted to do. You are therefore both a technical expert and a generalist combined in the two discussions of the assignment you now want to perform. B. The fact that the literacy instructors are scattered all over the country should reveal a few things to you. You want to ask yourself, do I make the workshop residential or not? You may need to profess reasons for whatever choice you are making. C. What about the content of the course? A portion of a tall order in the question says, to equip the literacy instructors with the skills for effectively teaching literacy. You then want to naturally ask yourself, what skills do literacy instructors need to teach literacy effectively? There you go into the books again, as your residual knowledge may not be enough. I tell you, like lawyers and doctors, the training manager has to check his books for any missing gaps in knowledge. Would you? On the third question, again, you may need to consider the following. A. What are strikes and what are lockouts within this context? How damaging are they? Luckily for you, the sense of wielding of baton and tear gas canisters, which the presence of the policemen signifies, already gives you an idea of the situation. The same goes for the images of property safety and that of lives. This means that you really have a problem on your hands and everybody is looking forward to you to provide a panacea. Make a good job of it. B. As in the last assignment, you may also need to probe a bit into the exact causes of the problems so that you can provide appropriate solutions. The strikes and the lockouts and indeed the fear for the safety of life and property are just later problems that surfaced as a result of the initial problems not being properly attended to. So, go to the root of the problems to prepare your program. In all the questions listed, you will identify themes, objectives, topics, and resource person. You will also call meetings of the training personnel, contact other organizations and members of the society to be involved. You will organize an evaluation of activities and where possible carry out post-seminar or post-workshop activities. However, whatever you do, also know that the reputation and the name of your organization is at stake, and thus you have to live to expectation. In the guidelines that we shall see in Lecture 15, which also represent a kind of summary of this course, you will discover a possible way of ensuring that you document the project exactly the way you are supposed to. Study section summary. In this study session, we attempted at providing you with a real field work. This will enable you practicalize the processes of organizing a seminar or workshop. You were given 3 alternative questions to choose from. Thereafter, you were given some basic guidelines that will help you in the assignment. This is the end of AD 309. Thanks for listening.